Hi, today we will be discussing about control flow statements in Java. Hope you would have watched variables and different types of data types that makes the variable and how operators work on those variables. Those are like a building blocks of learning a programming language. Like I mentioned in the very beginning of this um, Java 8 for testers, that assume you're learning this programming language so that you can communicate with machines such as computers, laptops, servers. So on that note, today we will try to understand what is control flow statements in Java. Imagine you're trying to give a task to your computer to write a book. So there you said it, write a book. The computer is going to write a book for you. The command is to write a book, but you haven't told when the book has to end because the machine is not able to understand when to stop. So it keeps writing. So at some point of time, you will have to put a condition to tell your machine that please stop writing the book. It is already over. Maybe you have to tell some conditions like don't write more than 500 page or maybe write just 10 pages. So this part of conditioning that one would want to put in your programming language, that is called as control flow. You said write a book, you're also saying stop writing a book, and you wanted to stop writing a book maybe once your content exceeds 500 words or it enters 5000 words or stop at 100 pages or 500 pages. So you wanted your program to flow based on the conditions that you put in your code. That's where control flow comes into existence. So basically, they are the most important aspect of your programs. Trust me, without them, programs would be as exciting as staring at a black screen all day. So let's dive in. We have two variety of control flow statements. One is conditional statement and second is looping statement. So you think of them as a traffic light of your program. They tell your code when to stop, when to go, and even when to take a detour. Without them, everything would just straight run through and crash. Not good, right? Assume you're at the road end and you will have a diversion. You have ice cream shop at one end and you have gym at the other end. Most of us would pick the ice cream shop, right? So here let's introduce a binary variable. That variable is going to be is hungry. If you're hungry and the condition is going to be true, then you go to ice cream shop. Else, you go to the gym. I'm trying to make a connection here. Your conditional statements are going to help you to break your code and structure them in such a way based on the conditions. Your code is going to flow and navigate and complete the task that it has been assigned to do. So there it comes the conditional statement. You're checking whether you're hungry and then you're trying to go to ice cream shop or gym. So when does loops come into the picture? Okay, now you are not hungry, so you're going to the gym. But after your gym, you're hungry, so you're going to the ice cream. And then after you had your ice cream, and then again you're coming back to the gym. So you're kind of repeating your eating the ice cream, going to gym and walking back, and you keep on circling on the same task until you're fulfilled with eating all the ice creams in the shop. That's the part where looping comes in Java. Examples like an automated process of brewing coffee at your coffee shop. Every day they have to brew some coffee. This can be automated. And here you will need a loop. You will need the same milk, you will need same water, you will need same coffee powder. You just need to mix them at the right proportion and uh, to the interval of time. So these are some examples where you will have a real-time application of applying loop in your code. So your conditional statements has four keywords that might be used in Java. One is if statement, which will have if as your keyword, and you have if else keyword, and you also have else if statement, and you have switch statement. Let's look at if statement. It executes a block of code if specified condition is true. Simple as that. You check for the condition. If it is going to be true, you perform the action that you wanted to do. That could even be simply printing a message called hi. So you put a true value, you type in if and you put a true value inside, and then you put a print statement and say hello world, it will just print. If else statement. So what this does is it executes one block if the condition is true and another block if it is false. So you put a if loop and you try to put a false statement in it, and then you put a print statement, and you also have an else block, and in the else you try to put another statement. If your condition of your if block is passed with a false value, your if will not be printed, your else block will be printed. And there is else if. Else if block will allow you to check multiple conditions. This is more like you checked if A is going to be apple. If A is going to be apple, print A. Else, if check if A is orange. Else, check if A is mango. It is going to check for multiple conditions, and whichever one is true, that statement is going to be printed. And finally, you have switch statement. Switch statement selects one of many code blocks to execute based on the value of the variable. This is almost like your else if statement. Imagine you're ordering pizza and you've got 5 topping choices. Instead of asking a million if else questions, you use a switch statement. Simple as that. You switch your topping. Case 1, if it is going to be pepperoni, add pepperoni, break. Case, case cheese, add cheese, break. Case veggies, add veggies, break. Simple as that. So you use your if keyword, apply your Boolean expression, open your parenthesis, your Boolean expression, which is your condition. This condition could be, for the analogy that we were using, is a person deciding to go to gym or to the ice cream parlor. If I'm going to use a variable called is hungry, that's going to be my expression that will be coming here. So if keyword, open parenthesis, Boolean expression, close parenthesis, open your curly brace, and put the statement that you wanted to put inside the if statement and then close it. When the condition is true, it is going to get executed. Next, what we have is if else statement. Use the if keyword, open parenthesis, Boolean expression. The condition is going to be is hungry. Here it is not going to be. I'm going to make is hungry is equals to false. So this time it is false. I have my open parenthesis and close parenthesis, open curly brace and close curly brace. And here I'm going to put my statement, I'm hungry. And I have an else block. In the else, I'm going to put, I'm not hungry. So go to gym. I'm not hungry. That's the statement I want to put in my else block. And my Boolean expression that is mentioned in my if block is going to take a value of false. So I'm going to fall into the else block statement where I have to go to gym. Thirdly, we have switch statement. So the example that I was giving is ordering a pizza, and you got like 5 different types of toppings. So switch variables to switch the variable of topping. So case 1, use a switch keyword, open parenthesis, the variable that you will use, and close the parenthesis. Use the keyword case. So case can take uh, your different branches, which could be like case pepperoni topping, case cheese topping, case veg topping. So your case, say you have cheese, so add cheese and then break. Then case veggie, add veggie, then break. Then case pepperoni, add pepperoni and break. And you have a default keyword. So this is going to be an optional default that may appear anywhere within the statement, switch statement. This is going to appear when you don't know what choices of variables you're going to be chosen here, which is your pepperoni or cheese or veggie. So in that case, your default will be executed. If nothing else is be passed, your default will still be executed. Finally, try to close your curly brace which you opened at the very top, close that. You can also use an optional break keywords which will break your flow when you're using your switch statements. So there are 7 types of switch data types that are supported by a switch statement. So first is int, an integer. Second is byte and byte. So this is from the primitive type, which is going to be your 0, 1, 2, 3 direct values. And your integer, this is going to be your wrapper class values. This is integer comes from the class integer. Similarly, you have byte from the primitive, and this is from the wrapper class byte. It supports short and short, char and character, int and integer, string and enum values. All these type of data types can be used as your variable in the switch. Next, what do we have is loop statements. So like I mentioned before, loops will come into picture when we are going to do some repeated tasks. Let's say, for example, even hitting the snooze button every morning. It's a repetition, and it is going to happen every time and every day for everybody. So for a loop, it executes a block of code a specific number of times. And you have a while loop, which will execute a block of code when a condition is true. And you have a third loop, which is called do while loop. So it executes a block of code once and then checks the condition. This is the difference between while loop and do while. I'm going to bring a very simpler analogy for while and do while. So while loop is like um, waiting for your coffee to brew. You don't know how long it will take, but you're going to wait there until the coffee is going to be brewed. The loop keeps going until the delicious coffee is ready. It doesn't care how many times it repeats. It just waits. That's what your while loop is about. Your do while is like when you send a risky text message, you send it first, then think about whether it is a good idea. So you keep sending it until you hit the moment. So to use your for loop, you need the for keyword, open parenthesis, you need initialization, a statement of initializing a variable, for example, and you need a Boolean expression based on which condition your initiated variable should behave and how it should behave will be your update statement. So you have for loop, for keyword, initialization, semicolons, semicolon, and Boolean expression, semicolon, and you have your update statement. Then you have your curly brace open, put the body of your for loop, and then you close your curly brace. So there's also a side note. Your initialization statement executes. If Boolean expression is true, it will continue, else it will exit the loop. The body executes and it will execute the update statement as well. And fifth, it will be returning to step 2, which is if the condition is true, the 3 and 4 will keep executed until the Boolean expression is true. Well, I'm keeping everything here as theoretical. I'm going to also keep the separate demonstration of all this theoretical portion that I'm talking here. So bear with me on that. Second, what we have is while keyword. So you have while keyword, you open your parenthesis, you put your Boolean expression, close the parenthesis, open your curly brace, and you put your statements that you wanted to execute when this Boolean expression is going to return you true, and you close the curly brace. File is also simple. Thirdly, what we have is do while. So you use do keyword, open the curly brace, put the statements that you wanted to perform in the do's body, and then you close your curly brace and you use your while keyword, and then you check for the condition, which is your Boolean expression, use a semicolon. Whether this condition is true or not, your do is still going to perform one action in your do block. And then it is going to check in your while whether should I still continue or not. So that's how your do while will behave. So that is it for the theory part of control flow statements. I'm going to focus on doing the demonstration of using the conditional statements and loop statements. Stay tuned and thanks for watching. Bye.